Alright, Shalom Malakim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Akal double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to Allah Akim, that is doing the work in sincerity and charity with humiliation all across the four winds. The U.S. salute. And the sincere Aquatim, they're doing their due diligence in the servitude of their husbands first and foremost, and in the servitude of their households. Shalom. This is your brother Yahshua from the TMS Bombers Camp. Back at you with a brief spiritual hydration. And this is another herb of the day. This one is called Cerasee. Now, Salakia just got getting out with a little cold, but we're currently treating it with this very herb. Now, this one, in the Caribbean we call it Cerasee. Other Caribbean nations they call it bitter melon. And this is one of those herbs that is, as it says, very bitter. You steep it in the tea, but it helps detoxify the blood. You see, it helps to cleanse the blood. You see, and get a Google definition, right? It says Cerasee, or bitter melon, or Corilla, is a popular Caribbean and African bush herb known for its intense bitterness and extensive traditional medicinal uses. Now, it says here, primarily brewed into a tea, it acts as a tonic to cleanse the blood, treat colds, fevers, low blood sugar, and relieve constipation, right? And yeah, that's all the things what Cerasee does. You see, when we was growing up, your grandmother would always have a pot of Cerasee on the stove, and everybody who come to the house have to drink a cup of that. And that'll help to detoxify the blood, to cleanse the blood, and keep the cold and the flu away. So everybody in the Caribbean should know what Cerasee is, and I suggest all Lakim out there, try to get some of this herb, whether fresh. I've never had it dry, but it's always been fresh. But dried works just as good. And add this to your regimen. At least once a month, you should drink this for at least 2-3 days to help cleanse your blood and help build your immune system. You see. Now, if you remember in the scriptures with Yahushai sacrifice with the Pesach, we had bitter herbs. And we know the bitterness is to remember, the servitude that we served with rigor, when we was in captivity. You see, and to remember the sacrifice that Yahushai made. So every time you intake a bitter herb, always remember the sacrifice that Yahushai made. You see? And there's a saying in the world, what's sweet in your mouth, it bitter your belly. This herb is bitter in your mouth, but it helps to detoxify the blood. It sweetens the belly. You see? So we always have to bring that to remembrance as well. When taking these things, you have to take it in moderation as well, because you don't want to take too much of it for too long, because then you could, damage your liver. You see? All things in moderation. Even the scriptures tell you, honey, although it's sweet, if you eat too much, it make you sick. You see? Let's get a little bit more of the definition of Cerasee, right? It says, traditional medicine used as a detoxifier, anti-parasitic, meaning it removes parasites out of your body, right? Like worms and what's not, whatever parasite you may have. And to treat skin issues like eczema or rashes through baths or topical applications. So if you get a rash, an insect bite, acne, from a bad diet, it'd be best to intake it and to use it as a facial cleanse. You see? It says health benefits known to help manage blood pressure, reduce inflammation or arthritis, and aid in weight loss. So it helps to regulate your blood pressure. It helps with pain, it helps you to lose weight, because sometimes when you intake it, if your body is full of toxins, it will cause you to vomit. And when you vomit, you will start to vomit up all type of mucus and thing out your body. So if you drink it and it causes you to vomit, don't try to force yourself not to vomit. Bring that shit up. The scripture tells you if you feel sick or if you eat too much and you basically want to vomit, bring it up. Don't hold it down. Bring it up. Then bring up all that mucus and things from out your gut and what's not. You see? It says the usage, the leaves and stems are boiled or steeped in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. In my knowledge of herbs, when it comes to leafy herbs, you don't boil them. You boil the water and you pour it over the leafy herbs. The only herbs you tend to boil are roots, stems, barks. You see? But any leafy herb, you don't boil. You see, you steep. Now, here's here the liver caution. Do not consume consistently for more than 4 weeks as it can cause liver damage. Same thing I was saying earlier. And then pregnant women aren't to use it either. You know, so this is what Cerasee looks like. This is Cerasee bush or bitter melon. And they call it the bitter melon because it has this little fruit on it. You see? This little fruit right here. And the interesting thing about this fruit, as you can see here, that's when it's open. But that's what it look. This would it look like when it's closed. The fruit, when it's ripe, it turns this bright orange color, and when you crack it open, it has these red seeds. The fruit of this herb is sweet. That's interesting about it. The herb itself is bitter, but the fruit is sweet. That's something, right? And it's pretty delicious when you eat it. And the fruit itself has health benefits of the plant as well. You see, but you know, let's go into let's see with the fruit. The health benefits of the fruit, right? It's a lot, yeah. Get on Facebook. It says it produces a small, bright orange, warty fruit, often called a maiden apple. See, yeah, the seeds are sweet. The usage: while leaves and stems are more common for tea, the young green fruit can be used in cooking, like stir fries or in medicinal teas. Yeah, but what's not, you know, the Cerasee bush, nonetheless, is one of those herbs you really should add to your diet. You know, at least once a month you do a cleanse with it, you know, to detoxify the blood and, you know, get yourself regulated. Yeah, Malaki, and with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashmi Shai, Bashim Akakadash, Shalom, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.